perfect example, when I announced my candidacy, newspapers approached the incumbent, Danny K. Davis, and he stated, oh, he welcomes the challenge. He's excited for it. But almost immediately after myself announcing, the underhanded backroom tactics started, from intimidating phone calls. The incumbent himself called me and stated, I was going to embarrass myself. I'm not even going to make the ballot. I need to drop out and, really think about what I'm doing. And do I have a lawyer? Will I be able to afford a lawyer?
We recently conducted depositions of the supervisor of elections and some of her top lieutenants, and it was quite revealing. The supervisor admitted that they destroyed the ballots in violation of federal law, which requires them to maintain the ballots for 22 months. She gave the lame excuse that it was all just a mistake. She was then asked, how could you sign this destruction order that certified that the ballots were not the subject of any pending litigation? And she said, well, yes, I did sign that destruction order. Yes, it did certify that, but I had no idea what I was signing. I sign anything that's put in front of my face.
We have to collect signatures. We're in Illinois, you have to collect signatures to get on the ballot. So I turned in, almost 3,000. This was like, I'm still working full time, mind you. I work at the school full time, still run my nonprofit. But, off of work, weekends, we have wonderful volunteers out there, boots to the ground. So we collected all these signatures. Like, we did this the right way. But what happens is, we turned in our petitions. They challenged them. So to a grassroots candidate like me, who $1,000 means everything, it cost me $10,000 to hire a lawyer. But that process lasted 2 months. So from the time we turned in our signatures, we had 2 months where we essentially weren't officially on the ballot. So you can imagine how that impacts your race in a sense, because, even newspapers, even the media, they're not necessarily going to approach you like you're an official candidate because they don't know if you're going to actually make the ballot.
Now they say, well, let me back up and say, when we first put in the public records request in November of 2016, they said they had not done any digital scanned images of the ballots. A year later, when they admitted that they had destroyed the paper ballots, they then said, well, we actually do have digital scanned images after all. So you don't really know what to believe. And the election experts I talk to, they say without the paper ballots to compare them with, the digital scanned images are pretty much worthless.
So they were supposed to remove 34,000 yards of waste. They ran out of money. The waste that was removed summed up to be about 2,400 yards, 900 pounds, and they dug down 12 feet. We're talking about decades of heavy chemical contamination in a wetland. 2,400 yards, isn't it? It gets deeper. So this contamination is going on the wetland, which of course it's my belief that it's affecting the water systems. If you can't clean pharmaceuticals out of our tap water, how are you cleaning chromium, arsenic, radiation, all of these awful chemicals that cause genetic defects?
So for us, I just have to talk personally about us. It's been a really long and hard year. So starting off after the camps closed, we had our DAPL mercenaries who followed us, who camped in front of our homes. We had the police who spotlighted our homes. We were followed everywhere. The helicopters, the planes just never left. They're still here today. I know that when we buried my husband where I buried my son, we put up a teepee on top of the hill. We put a long white flag to let everybody understand that this is a widow's teepee. And we put it up there to honor my husband's death, and the helicopters and planes came. The PIA police actually pulled up and went inside the teepee to see what was happening. And I'm thinking, we have not done anything. We have sang, prayed, and followed our traditions.
Our water had 10 contaminants over health and safety guidelines. Out of those 10 contaminants, they're chlorides, and it causes cancer and difficulties during pregnancy. One of them, the chemicals that they use is chloroform. The health and safety guideline for chloroform is 0.07 parts per billion. The town, now they have to pay for this chemical to clean the water that they're telling everybody is safe. They have to pay for this chemical. They're adding 36.6 parts per billion. That in itself makes the water unsafe.
I think it's so important what you're doing. It was so important 2 years ago. You were one of the only folks who were out there covering what was happening in Flint, Michigan, and then the Dakota Access Pipeline when the mainstream media was staying away from it. So folks do need to step up and to support independent journalism like you're providing for us.